How can I troubleshoot null pointer exceptions in large codebases? Imagine opening a giant puzzle box and suddenly finding a piece missing. That missing piece could be causing your program to crash unexpectedly. Today, we're going to explore how to track down those elusive null pointer exceptions in big projects. First, understand that a null pointer exception happens when your code tries to use an object that hasn't been initialized. Think of it like trying to open a door that has no handle. The program crashes because it can't find what it needs to continue. When you see a null pointer exception, the first step is to look at the stack trace. It shows you exactly where the problem occurred, including the class name and line number. In large codebases, that can be tricky because many objects might be involved on a single line. To make it easier, break down complex expressions into smaller parts. For example, instead of writing a long condition like if user is customer and account equals ID, split it into two checks. First, check if user is null, then if account is null. This way, you can see which specific object is causing the problem. Adding explicit null checks before using objects is another good habit. For example, before calling a method on an object, verify it is not null. Logging the state of objects before the line that crashes can also help. You might add print statements or use debugging tools to see what values each variable holds at runtime. In big projects, adopting defensive programming practices can prevent many null pointer exceptions. Always initialize objects properly before using them. Use default methods in interfaces that handle null inputs gracefully. Apply null-safe operations or utility methods that check for null before proceeding. Many programming languages support annotations like at nullable or at non-null. These help document and enforce whether a variable can be null or not, reducing surprises. Refactoring your code to avoid deep object chains or complex expressions can also cut down on null references. If your environment supports static analysis tools, use them. These tools scan your code for potential null dereferences before you even run the program. They highlight risky spots so you can fix them early. Finally, look at the bigger picture. Null pointer exceptions often point to deeper issues like incorrect data flow, race conditions, or improper initialization sequences. Investigate these systemic causes to prevent similar errors from happening again. By systematically isolating the null reference, adding targeted null checks, simplifying your code, and using tools and annotations, you can troubleshoot and reduce null pointer exceptions in large codebases. It's all about being methodical, patient, and proactive in your debugging approach.